Champaign County, north of Mahomet, Illinois. Quack, quack. Kathy and I are at Heron View Forest Preserve. There's no dogs allowed from March 16th to August 1st. It's to deal with the birds. There are great flowers growing. Let's go get some pictures of this stuff before we go on. See if we can get some good pictures. Down, 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 down we go. There we go. There's no flyers this time. There was 2 months ago when we were here. So if all else fails, you take a map, take a picture of the map. It's not quite a 1.5 mile. I didn't even remember to bring a belt. Hope my pants don't fall off. I'm out in the woods, who cares? Much better.
Isn't that the other thing? Usually you're ready to go.
Well, I was all excited about this. You want to go clockwise or counterclockwise?
I want to go down
You
there
want to
and
watch
see
me jump the
and
creek.
see if we got any water or not.
You want to see me jump the creek.
Let me see the creek. Oh,
Yep.
this isn't where I lost my glass. It was with the other one.
Yep.
Taking the woods. That's okay.
We can be there today too.
There must be a gully down through there.
Yep, there is.
If you ever, that might be something to walk to one day.
It's ticks and stuff are out today.
A lot of that floating around. Cottonwood.
See the
Look at that.
lizard trying to get us?
Cottonwood.
See the lizard trying to get us?
Oh, that's a lizard.
Serpent.
There's a lot of cottonwood in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for wildlife, but I don't see any.
You may not.
I can't hear none.
There's birds singing.
You hear the wind.
Yeah, that's wind. Sometimes wind and running water sounds the same. You have to listen to see if it's down here or up here. Down low or up high. I think it's going to be passable so far.
Oh, this is the park.
Yeah, this is where I jumped.
Some of it's kind of wet. Oh, dang.
Beautiful river bottom. You know what's strange? Growing up,
What?
I never once thought about ticks and stuff.
Some what?
Ticks.
Crips?
Tick. Little creepy crawly things on me.
Look you through that way. Hey! That's a paw print.
Yep.
So there's been a raccoon.
There's also been a motorized vehicle down through here.
Probably.
And I wasn't going to say, from the looks of it, it was probably the park with the mowing service down here.
Yeah.
Just to take the top, you know, keep the path wide.
There's the old trunk that's going.
That's a nurse log.
Yeah.
I do have my GPS is running so that I can have an actual trail. Look at this.
Yeah.
Deer.
Hey, hey. Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Deer, deer, deer.
Deer.
Maybe going that way.
There's some there.
Yeah.
There. Is that some?
No. That's a big dog or something chasing after it.
Mm.
If it was warmer out, I would say watch out for snakes, especially in the sunny spots.
Yeah, so it's got a
But it's still,
rise the sun.
it's enough of a consideration to think about it. I've hiked 6 years this month. I've seen one snake in the Smokies,
What's that?
and I've seen a big dog or something.
Yeah.
2 snakes in Florida. In the last 60 days, I've seen 3 snakes.
Really?
Peckerhead behind us. The views here aren't great spectacular, but it's Sangamon River bottom. They got a birdhouse of some sort over there.
Really? Oh, that's nice.
If it was higher, I would say it would be an owl or a bat house, but probably a birdhouse. If you see all the little white stuff floating in the air, Kathy says that's cottonwood. See? There's another house over there. Another bird house, bat house, owl house, something kind of house. And I'm not walking out in it to find out. Okay, there's some yellow flowers over here, but there's some over here kind of close I can get to a little bit without having to go through any deep grass or anything. I don't need ticks on me, chiggers, bats. Oh, look at the way the sun lights that. Yeah.
How do you make a dam?
The river has forced. Yeah, so we're actually walking upstream, up the river here, this direction, because all the logs are that way. That tells you what happens in here.
Here too.
Is the water when it
What's that up here too?
spring floods. That's what happens. It pushes all this stuff down. We're going to have another class in just a little bit. Hiking class.
Hiking what?
Hiking class.
Oh, okay.
And you go zoom in. Adults. Private property. Adults don't cross that line. That's what adults don't do. They don't cross the line. Okay. Back to it. Back to normal camera now. By the map, it looks like
That might be a deer trail.
does it look like 2 fingers?
2 fingers, yeah. There?
Yep, deer. It looks like by the map that this is like Sangamon Forest Preserve. It gets close to the river.
That away.
Yep. This trail comes out pretty close to the river, so that'll be nice. The paperwork says that they're not going to do anything here. They're just going to have a trail through it and parking in the signs. This is basically unfarmable ground. You can't farm this because of spring floods. This is not sandals, flip-flop, tennis shoe ground. It is wear sturdy shoes with some sort of tread on them. That's nice. Got kind of a hillside view here now.
Oh, no, this is worth it.
This is where you build a house. You build a house up here, clear it out, put trails in it, EMP preserve. Gee, where did I see that happen? Oh yeah, Mom and Dad's house. You know, Mom doesn't even know I went out there and trimmed all that out of the backyard. She doesn't need to either. It's just
Be
that.
careful. I'll have to get down first in case I tumble down.
Okay.
And knock you down. We have two of us down there. We'll be laughing, hurting.
Yep.
Make memories.
My sister Kathy is out doing what she's been wanting to do for a long time. Every time I'm up, she wants to go hike on a trail. Find a trail, let's go. We tried to do this one 2 months ago. The river had flooded. It was a muck hole here.
This is how you walk down the mountain.
Yep. Slow, steady,
I think I see footprints.
figuring each step on the way down. You don't slam your feet down, you firmly put them in place and lock them in place. There's a lot of violets, but it's late in the season for blooms.
That's all right. Food for the wildlife later.
Since they didn't have any pamphlets at the trailhead,
Yeah.
I took a picture of the map. So I do have a map with me.
Okay.
I have a map with me, everybody. It's a picture on my camera. As long as the batteries are good, I got a map. I'm big on that on my hiking, if you noticed. Never leave home without a map. Never leave the trailhead without a map. If you have to, take a picture of the map at the trailhead. Actually, you take two.
wonder if that's home.
Somebody's home. That's a snag. What that's called. What's on the ground that fell off of it is a nurse log. That hole wasn't there while it was alive. It's something that was put in it. A squirrel may be living in it.
Oh, yeah.
Some birds. I think the hole's too small for raccoon to be in it. See, there's another posted no trespassing sign. One of two things happened. Some people inadvertently crossed, and the guy's an upset person, or two, some people crossed that didn't give a hoot and upset the owner.
Or they crossed and they haven't come back.
Well, that'd be okay.
So you mean it was a dangerous.
And
maybe there's a hole out there.
And when the owner came down and said, "Hey, what you doing over here?" they got belligerent with him.
Yeah.
He's the owner. You don't get belligerent with an owner. You apologize for being on his property that you truly didn't understand. Which direction do I need to go to get off your property? Yep.
Take that picture of that.
What? I'm your photographer servant now, sis? Because you didn't bring your camera? Well.
That's different.
Well.
That's different.
Well, then we'll take my camera out there. See, now here.
Bird way out there on that limb.
Okay, I'm going to show you something. This is the trail.
Uh-huh.
This is what they call a manway. The reason why they call it a manway is because a man made a way. They thought they weren't going to get to see the river.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice place to fish.
And they got a trail each side of it.
Yeah, I'll bet
Frog just went in.
Biscuit. Dogs on it.
This is nice. Hard to imagine this little river raging so full that they put logs and stuff way back there.
Yeah. Just to stop it?
Way back there was logs and stuff up against trees. This tree right here in front of us is in the process of falling. It just hasn't fell yet.
It probably won't for another 20 years.
And that's very likely, because the river has washed the earth from around the limbs. Eventually, the root system back in here will fail and it will fall.
Same with that one.
This one's here, yeah. That tells you that this river wasn't all that big. It just progressively gets bigger every time it floods. You get a decent rain to cause more water to go down. There wasn't enough rain Saturday to raise the river any.
Didn't make this wet and wash or something.
Yeah. You see, this isn't muddy. It's wet, but it's not muddy.
Yeah. Very nice.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they see you before you see them. There could be a deer way over there. He knows we're here, and we don't know he's there.
Yeah.
Because we're not normal. Nothing runs
Okay,
around in the
rephrase that?
nothing runs around in the woods with red hats and orange hats, red clothes and stuff. Wind's rolling through the trees above us.
You hear the water.
Yep.
Ooh, that's net. I think they're right that way.
Yeah, and we didn't spray down for anything,
no,
so.
that's different. Okay.
Yep.
Now that two trees.
That tree is a snag in the process of happening. Half that tree's dead, half of it's alive.
My goodness.
Here you go. See this one right here?
Uh-huh.
That's dead.
As long as that.
That's kind of that's a dead, that's a living dead snag that's in the process of falling, because the river is right there, and the root system, it fell this way instead of across the river. And if it wasn't for that tree right here, they'd have to cut it out, and that could drop any time.
Yep.
So I don't need to whittle my wife. So I move a little fast at times. This is, since they keep it wide, see, it wasn't cut open like this 2 months ago. The trail was just a mud trail down through here.
They probably just drag something through this stuff.
So they've done a good job
Oh, now that's nice.
of opening this up for the spring. Oh yeah, this looks good. Yeah, you can see that tree is in the river, Kathy. That one that's leaning, it's out in the river. It's not very deep there, Kathy. It's maybe 12 inches. The river's not very deep right now. Very nice. I was not expecting much here, but I was expecting everything it had to offer. Because your lowlands along a river floodplain, Sangamon River floodplains, and very pleasant, nice and open. Not seeing any deer or anything yet, but it's nice and open. Real close to the river.
I see little animals paw prints. See? Right here.
Yeah, that's a trail.
See? Right here.
Yeah.
Goes all the way down.
Yeah. Probably muskrats, possums, skunks, raccoons.
Ooh, that's pretty that way.
Yeah, very nice.
Ooh, there's a log that fell in.
Forgive me for not taking more pictures. I'm just so enjoying the walk. We were actually way over in there. It loops around the edge over there, back over here. It loops from around over there to the river, and then we'll start looping back shortly. It's 1.4 miles from the trailhead.
I'm looking for turtles too.
Because that's deep there, you can't see bottom. Because the water's come down and it's cut a groove around there. Yeah, you watch out for snappers today too. You found one snapper the other day.
Yep. You know, if you see something shiny, it's a shell.
Goofy me, I hit the wrong button. I hit the record button, not the photo button. Welcome to Hiking with T of TNG. Let's just see, makes 3. No, this isn't even a physically stressing hike. There's, what is this? This is odd.
Maybe we, that's a different tree. Look at.
Yep. Wow. Let me step over sideways a bit. That's a snag that has some living parts, but it's basically dead. And it may not be a living part. It may be something on the side of it that makes it look like a living part. But I'm not trooping out through the grass to get it, to find out. I didn't notice at the rules and regulations if this is trillium. Red trillium, Kathy.
Yeah.
Late in the season, but it's worth getting still.
These are little boogers too. Try to go
We
through
got
here.
to see trilliums, Kathy.
Yeah. That would be a good place to be.
I hear geese. Behind us, coming in.
Yeah.
Maybe they're on their way to Lake the Woods. Look at that.
That'd be a nice place to fish.
Look there, Kathy.
Look.
Careful, careful, careful.
Watch it.
See the feather in the water?
What is that?
It's a feather.
That's what I thought. I couldn't figure it out.
That's a feather in the water.
Yeah.
That's a big feather. Now, I can't identify it, but it's something big enough to be off of a big goose, an eagle, vulture perhaps.
Could be a herring, could it?
Maybe, because this is herring country. They have herrings here. That's how come they limit the dogs. In this area. See, if I'd have seen that, if that would have been floating down in here, Kathy, I'd seen it. I'd seen if I'd get a stick and maybe catch it and bring it to shore and would have it. Go ahead, get inside and go get it.
Watch where you're stepping so you
Yeah.
get on these little
Yeah,
roots right here.
because you almost went for a swim. You know, we weren't looking at the Sangamon River until now. That was a little tributary creek. That's interesting. What you're looking at right here. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tree. 5 main trunks and 2 sucker trunks. Oh yeah, 2 3, 4, 5. There's,
Let's go up the road here.
there's 5 red trilliums there, Kathy.
Right to the top.
Let's see. This is downstream from Sangamon Preserve. So there may have been some seedlings, plant washed down through here from flooding.
What was that? We learned something new.
Yeah. They were down here with the weed eater in some of the places. You could tell where it wasn't straight, it was like they're swinging it.
That vine took over the underneath the tree.
You know this isn't really hot here in the summer.
Oh, because you're into the,
You're in the shade.
yeah, it's usually, when you're by the water, it's supposed to be 20 degrees lower, and whenever
Yep.
you're in the shade, it's 10 degrees lower than what in the sun.
Now they didn't cut this part down. They didn't cut this path.
No, that's pretty good.
They need to, because it's all this hanging over onto the trail. That's where the ticks are waiting for you.
So what?
Ticks.
Oh, yeah. Now you know there's something out there. Looking at it.
You may have deer out in there laying down, taking a morning siesta. Yellow blaze.
Oh, that's nice. Maybe next time when we come, I wonder what's up in that little hole up there. Probably an owl.
If it's deep enough you could have an owl, that's deep enough to have a raccoon in. But you see there's fungus growing out of the top of it. But I don't see any marks of anything crawling in and out. I don't see any bird droppings on the outside edge of it. So it may not be deep enough yet.
Start over. Same thing.
Real nice curvy tree. It's in the process of falling. It just hadn't got to the ground yet.
Look at that.
Point at it again.
Huh? Oh.
Point at it.
Oh, look at it. Oh.
Yes. That's what you was doing.
Me. There you go.
There you
Oh, we
go.
got some there too.
Yeah.
Right back over there. It wasn't in here, but I was afraid it'll.
Fungi
And
of some sort.
it kind of fell off on me. Down.
Now this part of the trail is not quite as good as the rest of the trail here, but the trail is still good.
I don't know. It has a couple scratches, that's all I think.
The people that had come down through here and did the cutting on the other part of the trail, see, they've done some cutting here, but not back there.
No,
It may have been a little too muddy back in there for them to get here. Yep. That they are keeping the trail trimmed back. Well, we're coming up on the river again.
They cleared it, pushed those back.
Water may have done that.
Oh, moss. Is moss supposed to be what? The north side?
Moss grows on any side of the tree and no timber.
Oh, so
Mostly the north side, yes, but you get in a basically from here south. If it's in a moisture area along the rivers, you can have moss everywhere. Like this, right here. This is a tree that hasn't fell all the way to the ground yet.
Okay, as long as it's going that way.
See, it's leaned up against there. I don't know where the bottom of it came from. Here, I do now. It came from here. It fell, landed over there, got caught on a tree, landed. Once it goes, it's going to keep coming down.
Must have been the water that pushed it.
It's trying to kill you.
Or
Trying to
the
kill you,
wind.
Kathy.
Oh, good wind. How did I know that?
See the river? Nope. It may be past us. River's flowing fairly good. Or it caught on some of the obstructions along the river. They have a, lack of a more proper term, a river walk trail across an old bridge on the, you know where Monica's Pizza is in Mahomet? You go south and east of that, the old bridge on the north side of 150. They got a bike trail across the old bridge there.
Okay, what are you?
Grassy hopper? Yes, a grassy hopper.
Is it grassy hopper?
Yep. Yeah, we're starting to make our way back to the car now. We're way over halfway. Within a certain realm of understanding, this hasn't changed in centuries. There's never been any farming down here. When the pioneers came across the prairie, when they was crossing Sangamon River, they were going through similar stuff like this if they were coming through this time of the year. I would not think there'd be very many buffalo through this section because it's mucky enough it wouldn't hold their weight. Buffaloes weigh a ton, and they're not going to go someplace where they're going to sink.
Here, but I think they're going down to that way.
There's some shoe prints here.
That's good.
Yeah. Deer. There's a deer print off my toe. Show their toes, I have my toes. Yeah.
I'll get you to that one.
That's a trail. That's how roads start. animals build a trail, develop a trail that's safe, and man comes along and they use it. Next thing you know, we come along with equipment, make it wide, and now we have an interstate down it. No, actually, interstates are blazed, man-blazed trails. The average road is a ex-animal trail. The road through Cumberland Gap is an old animal trail, buffalo, deer, and yep, a lot of deer. Ground soft enough for it to show up. And then Daniel Boone was hired to blaze the trail, and he came down, cut the trees down to each side of the path, and so you could run a wagon down through there. And then we started coming west. And I'm pretty sure that along the Sangamon River there were places where it was consistently shallow, and somebody set up a building there, and that's where you stayed for the night before you crossed the river. Probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, but I don't think so. You may have seen a lot more flowers here. More like the last week of April, first week of May. Instead of the third week of May. Beautiful. Yep. We should be coming up to the fork in the road fairly quickly. You don't get cliffside views, 1,000-foot drop views. You have river bottom views. Heron View Preserve. Champaign County, Illinois.
Leave myself. No, doesn't be frost.
See, if it's in the sun, you might be able to see a turtle on it sunning.
I know.
But that over there is in the shade. I thought that was a turtle over there at first, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
what I thought too. I thought maybe one of those rocks were over there.
I think it's just a knot in the tree. The trail is well marked with yellow blaze. Blazing, very nice. They've been down, widened it a bit. At first I thought they had a mowing service, but I think it's a weed eater. A guy or two with a weed eater. Yep.
We're living down here. Make it clear.
Now they'll clear the path roll stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
They never remove it because
I think
it's
they
part of nature.
fresh painted too.
Yep. Really.
I like that.
Yep. That's good to keep the blazes going so you know you're on the trail even though you know you're on the trail. I mean, how many more trails are there? There's one. Where'd you... That's a big deer. That's a small deer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're headed back towards the
Well, we probably got baby deers in there somewhere.
trailhead now. This looks like the first time they've been down here and widened the path this year. Yeah, we're getting away from the river now. So have you enjoyed today so far?
Yeah,
This is a fairly nice hike.
this one's gonna.
Deer. Deer. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can get 5, 6. 3 went that way, 3 went that
Look
way.
at those things jump.
We got our deer.
We've been here twice, seen deer once, 50% of the time. And this one over here, oh, there it goes. Now it's scared.
Curious, isn't it?
Now it's a jumping and a going.
Yay!
There's 2 of them in front of us. They're going up the trail we're going up.
Oh, good. Why use the path?
They're so quick you can't get pictures. I can get video, but I can't get photographs.
To do that is.
And actually, they were just standing there watching us until we got too close.
Yeah.
And then they took off. If they not took off, I never would have seen them.
No, that's true.
Unless I happen to look over and see them standing there. That happens at Panther Creek quite a bit. I'll come up on them and they're just... Panther Creek is deer are used to seeing people. These are not. That was nice. You see, there's an example. I told you they see us before we see them. They've been watching us for a while.
Oh, yeah. If lucky went with him over there. We might stop somewhere.
If you look, you may see a path through the grass where they went up through.
Oh.
Where the grass is knocked down a bit. It isn't grass, it's weeds. Okay. Yeah, right here.
Here's the water.
You can see an opening through there where they went through with the
Yep, they're way over there.
Yep.
They're way over there.
Yep.
You might, the only way you can see it is if they're going in between the trees.
If they got their white tail up, if you're lucky, you might be able to see the white tail moving.
Oh, that's good. That was nice.
Let's see, we've seen the river, we've seen a lot of plant life, beautiful trees, trilliums, some yellow flowers, some pinkish flowers, and deer. We've been on a good walk, Kathy, in the woods. Yes, Dad would have loved to have been with us.
Dragonfly.
Yeah. And they're gone.
They're gone.
Here's one of the birdhouses. It may have actually been one of the birdhouses we've seen coming in. 5 deer. 5 deer. Very nice. 4 or 5, I have to double check on the video, maybe more. Oh, we're getting back into the flowers again, I see.
What? Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Trying to find one lit nice for...
That tree snapped off.
Yep.
That must be that part right there. Probably the wind hit it just right.
Beautiful purple flowers. And we're in a section where there's a lot of them. Right along the trail, easy to see. View, take pictures of. There's some up by the parking lot too, so I'm thinking we're in that section of the ecology where these grow. Like the gold. A lot of gold. Like down at Champaign River Forest Preserve. A lot of gold down there. Deer trail tracks right up the trail here. A lot of deer tracks.
Look at this.
What'd you find?
I have paw print. I'll bet you a nickel. That's a raccoon.
Yep. You know how you can tell a raccoon from everything else?
Yep.
It looks like a human print. Flat ground, this is flood water ground right here.
Yeah.
Water sits here after the flood, nothing grows. It will later, but not in the spring.
I heard a noise from a bird, but I can't figure out which one it was.
Sounds like geese over there. A lot of gold, Kathy. Not quite as much gold as Champaign Preserve, but a lot of gold. They weren't here that long ago, cutting this.
Uh-uh.
They may have actually even done this last week to open this up for the weekend, getting it ready for next weekend.
Oh,
This may
yeah.
Memorial Weekend. It may be a high traffic trail. There's another birdhouse. Oh, that's a birdhouse. That's not a well. Owl is a bird. Terrence, come on. That's not a bat house. Cut and roll. Cut it and roll it away.
Yep, I hear 'em.
They're right over there.
Something got 'em.
Over in that direction. Well, maybe there's a fox or something over trying to get into their nest.
Yep. Hold on.
Ooh, looky here.
Something's trying to get you.
Who's the chipmunk?
Huh? Oh.
Full of nuts. 'Cause Paul cheeks are full of nuts. This trail is actually longer than I thought. I thought we'd been through it already. But it's, 1.4 miles. And we have filmed a lot and looked at a lot of stuff. Stop for the deer, stop for the birds, stop for the river. Yeah, a lot of stuff. See this? On a tree? That may be, if you look, a lot of the trees have that. That may be water line with limbs beating against them. Now that's paint. A lot of these have paint on them. But that one looked like it got beat up pretty good.